For context, I did come down sick with bronchitis, so please bear with me if my voice sounds a little weird, if I sound congested. Also, this video was originally supposed to drop in January 2021, but due to being busy with life, I only just now got around to the video. And I also should feel that I should mention a little bit about myself and why I think Demon's Souls is one of the best and most important games of all time. Demon's Souls was one of the first games I really got into. I first played it around the age of 10 or 11. I can't precisely say as time does really fly, so naturally it is one of the first games I sunk a large amount of time into. And being so young while doing so, of course I'm going to be all for the idea of a remake. Even if they don't necessarily nail the idea of the remake, it's interesting to see a dev team of fans of the game take an approach of making it modern, bringing new people or even returning players like myself to come and enjoy it. And now that you know a little bit about me and my history with Demon's Souls and how it's one of my favorite games of all time, we could talk about when Bluepoint announced Demon's Souls Remake. My reaction to the trailer should say enough.
Fucking yes! Yes! They pulled the fucking plug! Everyone be cool. Oh shit, it looks so good! Fuck! Oh! 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 Oh my god, he looks so good! Oh, I can't even talk. I can't even talk. Oh, he looks so good! It looks so fucking good! It looks so good! I fought.
My love for the announcement trailer alone is something I haven't experienced in years for me. Personally, video games as a whole really haven't been keeping me engaged like they used to. Halo Infinite has been keeping me pretty engaged, even though it is filled with microtransactions and probably one of the worst progression systems I've seen in years. But that shows how lenient I could be. The shitty monetization practices are something I try to avoid when it comes to talking about the core game itself, although it does need to be brought up at some point when talking about the game. Surely Demon's Souls Remake can't have anything like that. I mean, what could they possibly do? I mean, come on now. Wait, what? I'll touch on that later in the video, as right now we're talking about how I am as hyped as I can be for this. However, I'm also very concerned. They're remaking one of my favorite games of all time. How can't I be concerned? The only way I can describe my love and passion for Demon's Souls is how people describe Final Fantasy VII and the announcement of the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Remember all those people freaking out all those years ago?
I don't want to believe it.
Look at it already!
Are coming back.
Oh my fucking god! No way! Oh, my body! Wait for it. Yes!
Play it first!
They pushed the fucking button!
This is a movie? It's a movie
This
or
ain't
something.
real.
It's gotta be like a movie or something.
No. Go.
I can only really describe my love for Demon's Souls so much, so without further ado, let's dive right into this and get to the point. Demon's Souls Remake. Does it live up to my hype? Does it get my appreciation? What is a Demon's Souls Remake? Demon's Souls Remake is a launch title for the PlayStation 5, which was released November 12th, 2020. This is a remake of From Software's 2009 game called Demon's Souls. This game is often referred to as a spiritual successor to From Software's Kingfield series, and the start of the Souls-like genre people have fallen in love with. Developed by Bluepoint Games, you may know them for making the critically acclaimed Shadow of the Colossus remake back in February of 2018. Demon's Souls Remake stays true to the original in most ways when it comes to gameplay, Fighting through different levels feels better than ever. The atmosphere is very well done, able to quickly rope you in from the moment you spawn into the tutorial. From waking up to the jail cell in 3.1, or to walking up wooden boards into the swamp of the Valley of Defilement in 5.1. They even left the skip in 4.1, as you can see on screen now. Let's just talk about the impact of weapons. Using a greatsword for the first time, I felt the impact of that weapon in my hands. I was excited to use different weapons and see how they felt in my hands. Using the heal spell, for example, will cause the environment to move and really add to the immersion. Your character's facial animations when performing gestures shouldn't go without notice. Thank God they added the feature in for putting items directly in your storage from your inventory. It was such a much needed mechanic. For a launch PlayStation 5 title, this game runs smooth and gives me no issues whatsoever. It did not crash a single time, no frame rate drops, and the load times are mere seconds. It really made me excited for the future of the console as a whole. The bosses all stay true to how they felt in the original with the same gimmicks except for Dragon God. For some reason this time around he felt more aggressive in this game than usual. My memory of him in the original was just walking through this arena and just winning without him doing much. However, Remake, he feels more aggressive, and I died to him an embarrassing amount of times on my stream my first playthrough. The level design feels the exact same as the original, from getting lost and wandering the Valley of Defilement. I was annoyed, aggravated, I was tilted, but without that, I wouldn't have enjoyed it in a sick, sadistic way. The new game cycles in this game feel more brutal to me than any other Soulsborne game to date. I don't know if it's the difficulty scaling was increased for the game or not, but it does feel like it to me. And one thing to note about the new game scaling is in Remake, the first 5 new game cycles will increase with difficulty, while anything past New Game Plus 5 will not scale in difficulty. So that is 6 playthroughs total, including your first playthrough on that character. This is fitting because the game still has tons of replay value outside of New Game Plus cycles, with there being so many different builds and different approaches you can take on while fighting with the different enemy placement and bosses. And while I'm at it, I should mention the character creator. The Souls games can usually lead to some whack characters, and I mean whack. And oh boy, this game does not shy from that fact. The fact that this game was only out for a few days and I got on Twitter to see Kanye West's face, it may have horrified me, but it also made me realize how in-depth this truly is.
We off the grid, this for my kid.
You can make just about anything your mind can think of. If you want to make a waifu, you're very much free to do so. Or if you'd rather make Shrek, nothing's really stopping you from achieving the goal that you want. Which will lead us on to the design choice. The game did some redesigns that I absolutely love. The mind flares in 3.1 look horrifying. They're like H.P. Lovecraft himself made them. The gargoyles and the man-eaters now look more like demons than these stone monsters. The Adjudicator looks grosser, and I didn't even want to be near him. The Shrine of Storms now has an actual storm in it. The Storm King himself looks amazing. The effect of being hit with spells and getting caught on fire and seeing your character combust made my jaw drop when I first saw it happen. However, I could see some of the complaints about the redesigns. For example, I've seen people complain about Dragon God's new design and how he doesn't look desaturated anymore. I personally felt like this is more character to the Dragon God. The old monk is no longer yellow. The miners of Stonefang don't look like they have stone coming out of them, but instead look like they're more jacked prisoners. While these complaints are valid, they don't bother me personally. A redesign that did bother me, though, was the change to the old Ragged set. It lost its mage characteristics in the remake. It doesn't even look like the same set, which sucks because it was my personal favorite set in the original. Penetrator's sword buff now looks like a piece of blood instead of a soul, which is cool. I just don't think it fits Demon Souls personally. It feels more like something from Sekiro or Bloodborne. The Fat Official redesign was another one I hear people complain about. But when I first saw the redesign, I was worried as well. I didn't like the design choice at all. However, the more I saw the fatties in-game, and the more I became fond of the new look. It took a large amount of time, but it did eventually grow on me, and I don't dislike it anymore. But I still much prefer the original. This leads us on to sound design. The sound design of this game is amazing. Picking up the Storm Roll, hitting the Storm King and the Storm Beast with it, it just says it all. From the shrieks to the pain the Storm King makes when the impact hits him, it left me speechless. The sound of the screaming when you're walking through the Tower of Latria. But also the creepy singing from the formal royal wife. The lightning flashing on your screen. The bells of the mind flares. It all leaves you on edge, just like it did to me all those years ago. Blocking an arrow with the shield and hearing the metal playing off of it makes me feel so satisfied. From walking to running to swinging your weapon, using an item, using magic, and 1-1 and 1-2 when the dragon's attacking you. I knew where he was all because of the spatial awareness that your character provides by looking at them alongside the sounds they make, whether they're on the left side of you or the right side of you. I never experienced something like that outside of footsteps in other games. The DualSense controller speaker being on adds an element, like the elevator creaking, or the clash of swords hitting bones, boxes being crushed. The OST is something else. Listening to the reimagined OST, Maiden Astrea's theme, it at first had me really disappointed. When I thought of Soul's OST, her theme was the first one to pop into my head. So listening to it for the first time left me in that disbelief that they would remix it in a way that killed the theme for me. But as the fight with Garlvinland continued on, and the music kept going and going, I came to the realization that it's not her theme, but was more of his. This was the feeling of realization I couldn't even describe, a feeling of who the true enemy is. This OST choice alone should speak for itself. The Dragon God theme, the change to it was something that I didn't care for personally, and it hasn't really grown on me. The original felt like this sinister sound, I was in danger, while the new one was more like an epic Michael Bay explosion scene was about to play out at any moment. I get what they were going for, but I don't think it worked too well here, unfortunately. The online. I'm gonna keep the talk about online a little shorter, as PvP is remotely the same as it was before in the original, with a few weapon changes like the great axe range being much smaller than the original, but that's due more to the netcode than the actual balancing of the game. I'm having a blast playing, and I've been streaming it pretty often on my Twitch. I know a lot of players won't enjoy or even appreciate the game's PvP, but I love it to death. Co-op is your typical mug anything that moves with your summons and just laugh and have fun. Not much to say about it. Activity had sadly decreased a lot since launch. Not that it was super active to begin with, due to the scalpers and the PS5 issues, which is a different topic for a different day. And I'd like to talk about the lack of updates. Demon's Souls Remake has only gotten 2 updates as the recording of this video if you count the day 1 patch. The game still has an infinite damage exploit, no downscale to your summons, no ability to delete a singular character like in the other games. And I'd like to thank @rkirby808 on Twitter for making this aware in a recent tweet. Go ahead and follow him for some entertaining and chill Demon's Souls and other Souls-like content. The added content. This is going to contain spoilers, so please skip ahead if you don't wish to know. Added into the game is photo mode, fractured mode, which I'll explain a little bit more in detail later on, filters to change how the game looks in photo mode, so if you hate the lighting in the game and think it's awful, try out the classic filter on a quick photo to compare the light effects, for example. Increased maximum online players from 4 to 6, omnidirectional rolling, camera collision has a fix, but you can now opt out of the fix if you'd please. They went ahead and added new items, such as preservation gains, which temporarily increases resistance to status elements, phosphorus gains, increasing magic resistance temporarily, bear bug grains, which increases fire resistance temporarily. A few other new items are a pre-order weapon called the Reaper Scythe, added 2 new armor sets, the Red Knight set, and the Boletarian Royalty set. 1 new shield called the Hoplite Shield. Also, 1 new ring was added called the Ring of Longevity, which increases your max HP. The Ritual Blade is the only new weapon added, as it is part of the large axe category, and these are available through the Digital Deluxe Edition. I personally don't like that those are tied into the version of the game without being able to obtain them by playing through the game. It's a shame to see. This isn't the first time the series has done this, though. Also added into the game is the full official set. In the original, you could only obtain the cap. You can obtain this by farming the entire set off the officials. Alongside the official set is the Burrow set, found in 2.2 on the Lava River right before the Flame Lurker. The Blue Eye armor can also be found throughout the first Archstone throughout the different levels. Also added in is a bunch of trophies that were not included in the original. This adds more playtime and can add another dynamic to a boss fight, like beat Tower Knight without killing any archers, or beating the Adjudicator without knocking him down. This is a neat little thing that shouldn't go unappreciated, included in the remake, as well as a new key, a key for a door in 1.3 after the Tower Knight boss behind an illusionary wall. Now to get this key item, you need another new item known as the ceramic coin. These ceramic coins can be found throughout the game's alternative mode, known as fractured mode, where you play in a mirrored mode. You need pure white and pure black tendencies to be able to see these coins. These will take multiple new game cycles, and once you get 26 coins, you need to drop them for Sparkly the Crow in 4.1. They'll then drop the rusted key, and you can go ahead and take the rusted key to this new locked door in 1.3. That door will now open because you obtained the rusted key, and behind that door is an item pickup. The item that you pick up is the Penetrator armor. The feeling I got when I saw that armor in-game wearable after all these years was surreal. I personally didn't get it in my playthroughs of the game, but to those who did, I hope you wear it with pride. It might not be a whole new area or a whole new Archstone, but a part of me is grateful that it was this. It really shows how something like this can go a long way. So thank you, Blue Point. Thank you. The final verdict. Did it live up to my hype? Was I concerned for no reason? Well, I can happily say that Demon's Souls Remake is one of the best games I've played in years. No. It is one of the best games I've ever played, period. Even with the flaws that I mentioned, I can't get enough of this game. And I'm beyond happy the Blue Point nailed it. This game isn't the hardest Soulsborne game, but goddamn is it one of the more memorable ones. I love every moment in the game. I'll gladly recommend this game and live by it. Play the remake and the original if you haven't. I'm not a reviewer by any means, just a guy who's very passionate about his hobby. My thoughts don't matter in the grand scheme of things, but because of my small following and they know that this game means a lot to me, I thought I would share my thoughts and opinions on something I hold so dearly. And I should mention, I already held high expectations before launch, but they somehow managed to go above and beyond. But with that being said, Blue Point, you have my respect, my appreciation, and my hype. Thanks for watching all the way until the end. If you enjoyed the video, please share it around, maybe drop a like. Anyways, be safe out there, and I will leave you with this.
R.I.P. Steve Irwin. R.I.P. Steve Irwin. This one's for you, homie. Rest in peace. We finna get you back in this one. Fuck the rage. R.I.P.